Talkers. I'm Copper Kelly.
And I'm Jodie Lucas, and you're welcome to the Folkin Around Podcast,
Your favourite country music podcast. And Joe, tell the lovely listeners, who are we talking to this week?
So this week we've been talking to the wonderful Eimear Furlong, and it was a great interview, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It was about like singing with Daniel O'Donnell back in the day and her life on the road. And she's been at how many years now, did you say?
Oh, gosh.
Long time.
A long time since she was a young kid. Yeah, a long time. She's a veteran and she's not even in her 20s yet.
Yeah, so she's a very interesting story to tell. So, without further ado, I want to tell you quickly, if you want to support our podcast, kind of, help us pay hosting fees and all this kind of crack. If you want to help us out, go to buymeacoffee.com/Folkin Around. And we can tell you more details of that later on. There's a membership and there's some benefits and all this kind of crazy stuff. So we can tell you about that after the interview. But again, without further ado, here's the interview. Talk to you after. Welcome, Eimear. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you, Copper?
Very good. Same to yourself. This is the first time we were ever speaking. But you know Jodie a long time, don't you? Or Joe? I do.
I know Jodie a good while.
I never know if that's a good or bad thing when people say that. That's the only problem.
Oh, no, it's all positive. Don't be worrying.
Good,
don't be worrying.
Oh, bless.
Everything positive here.
So for Cooper and all those that maybe haven't heard of you, which I'd be surprised about, give us a little bit about you. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Eimear Furlong. I'm from Drogheda, County Louth in Ireland, and I am 23 years of age. Even though people keep saying I look younger, which is a good thing.
I would have thought you were like a teenage or something.
I think he's talking to me there, Eimear.
Can't complain about that.
I think so. I also am qualified in childcare, so I work in childcare as well as my music, so part-time in both jobs. And I've got my little extra hobbies as well. So I've got my I love doing workouts and being fit and healthy eating and all this as well. So and also the Instagram blog, and I love doing that too. So that's another little thing on the side.
And what tell the listeners, what do you blog about?
So the Instagram only started probably 2 years ago. I just said to myself, I want to do something different, and I want to do something that's going to be people to kind of connect with me more. So I decided to do Instagram blogging and kind of blog about my fitness and my music, more personal stuff that people may not have seen before.
Yeah.
Also, childcare as well. Like I love showing people the work I do. At home I work on like little things that I do in work itself, and I'd be like, oh, I'm doing paintings with the kids tomorrow or whatever. And I get little ideas and I share them as well. So it's great for like parents, for example, that love kind of getting little ideas off me. And the fact that I work in the classroom with the kids, it's so different to hear from someone who actually works with them and not just kind of on the side, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
And how has that sort of blogging helped with like your fitness journey? Was it around the same sort of time you started the fitness?
It was 2 years ago. Yeah, it would have been the same time. I was with a PT at the time, but I'm actually moving to a different personal trainer in the next couple of weeks. But I was with a personal trainer.
Can I just say, when she says she was with a PT, this girl is insane. This is like 6 days a week with a PT.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it was
meal prep. She does everything. She's hardcore with it.
Wow. It is tough, but like, you know what? I really enjoyed it. Now, I'm not going to lie, I have been slacking the past couple of weeks, but with lockdown and everything, it's just been kind of tough. I think this lockdown has been tougher than the last two. But I'm definitely getting back in the swing of things now. You just hit a brick wall and you go, I can't do everything. Yeah. But I am going to get back in the swing of it again and do more blogging on the fitness end of things too. So that's in the cards at the moment.
I'm mad to get back swimming. When the swimming pools are back open, I'm like a fish. I love it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Am I the only one that's like, I'm waiting for restaurants to open so I can just go and eat? Have a good drink and some food.
Why not? Why not? Need that as well. That's part of it.
Oh, yeah.
So Eimear, obviously we want to talk about your music and you know, things that you've done. And you've obviously mentioned that you're only 23, but I think what is incredible, given you are only 23, is that this year you're celebrating, is it 12 years on the road?
12 years on the road from
Wow.
February the 11th. I started. I actually was doing just little spot appearances, and then I decided myself I was going to go on the road. Probably, yeah, it would be 12 years on the road now altogether, because it was actually 2009 I started, I think it was, and
Wow.
I started on the road. And it was just my own kind of, you know, thinking about it, and I kept saying to Dad, let's go on the road. He kind of going, you having a laugh? Like, but no, I think, you know, I really wanted to do something that was for me and not just, you know, something I wanted to work on for myself as well, my confidence. And back then I wouldn't have spoken to you two at all. I would have never came on to podcast or anything like that. I would have said, no way, not happening. But now I'm like, I have to do, you know, and I'm really, really happy that I have taken on this job. And music is just my life, really. It's not really a job, to be honest, but it is my life. And I enjoy it so much, you know.
So how did you kind of get into it at such a young age?
Well, it's actually a funny story. I'm going to give you a short version of it, though, because it's a long story. I'll give you a short version of it. Basically, my cousin was launching an album in Donegal, and he's actually working in a band at the moment, and he does the rounds, and he was launching an album, and he asked me if I'd sing. And back then I was like, no way. I was only in the choir, and I was like, no way, I don't know any songs. But went along, and Daniel O'Donnell would have been his best friend. So Daniel was singing on the night as well.
We love a bit of Daniel.
Oh, yeah.
All love a bit of Daniel. I hope he hears this interview now. Anyway, he was singing. He was the main act on the night, and he knew I was singing, and he knew me since I was a child. But I kind of I started listening to him when I was younger, and my nana would have played him every single day. And I just kind of started liking his music. And then when I heard he was singing at the gig, I was like, what? Even though I knew him as a child. And it's just so funny because I never actually met him properly. I think I met him, you know, on and off when I was younger, but I never actually properly met him and knew who I was meeting. So when they said Daniel O'Donnell,
at that age, you don't realise that is Daniel O'Donnell, you know.
That's it. Like, you just don't realise who you're actually meeting. And like Margot, for example, I met her when I was younger as well. And it's just like mad when you think about it. But I went up and I sang 2 songs on the night, and ends up at the end of the night, they asked me to come back up and do the finale. And Daniel was kind of funny because he kept going, we're not finishing the night unless we've got Eimear back on this stage to the finale with us. So I went back up on stage with him, and I sang the Mary from Low song, even though I hardly knew the words. I just knew half the verses, like, it was like just singing along with him. But he was holding my hands. I was only 9, like, do you know what I mean? So it is quite young. But really great experience. And that's where I started. From there, the confidence went up, and it was just amazing.
How would you have managed, say, school and that? If were you gigging every weekend, or were you weeknights as well, or how did you find the balance?
Actually, me and Jodie were talking about this the other day. So when I was younger, when I was gigging, I would have been gigging full time when I was, say, 11 till about 16, 17, and then I decided to go part time. But it was funny because I used to do, maybe, depending on the week, and maybe 4 nights a week or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And say if I was gigging Monday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I would have to go straight into school the next day. So it is tough. It was very tough,
especially on a child, yeah.
Exactly. And it was very tough. And I did struggle with my academic side of things, but I also had another another reason for that, I suppose, is the word I'm looking for. And that is, I only made it kind of more open the last year or so that I was diagnosed with a thing called Asperger's, which is basically a mild version of autism.
Right.
And a lot of people go, wow, when I say this, but you know, it's something that has never held me back. I've always put my best foot forward and done what I wanted to do. And never let anyone put me down. If it was, you know, like, I got bullied when I was younger as well. So I got bullied from junior infants up till 2nd year. Yeah. And then I moved schools. So I was the one who said, I have to move schools. It's not working, blah, blah, blah. But I had to get through my leaving cert, which was so important as well. Got through that, and I started working in childcare. So it was just, it was always something that had to be done, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But no, definitely it was tough back then. I think it was harder back then than it is now for people.
Yeah.
Wise, but yeah.
I think you've said that yourself, that once you actually sort of made it public about your diagnosis, it almost answered a couple of questions for people, because people would sort of have this, Eimear's strange or whatever, she's a bit different. There's something, people would say it, and I think you answered people's questions, and then it's kind of more accepted now, isn't it? I think in general, although it's still very untalked about.
Definitely. I think back then, if I said it back then, what I did now, people would have went, what's that? Like, what is Asperger's? Or so, for example, people have asked me, with Asperger's, you can have, it's called meltdowns. And maybe if you can take things differently, to say, if you said to me, pour the milk in the glass, I'll go, what? You do it yourself. Like, but back then it would have been a pure argument, and it was just something simple that would have maybe triggered it. But thankfully I had to get over my own meltdowns. So I didn't have many, thankfully. But some children can actually have it a lot more severe than what I had. So I'm so thankful for that. But also, I'm also there to, what's the word I'm looking for? To kind of not advertise it, but kind of... You
just raised awareness of it, I think, with like your blogging. You definitely, I think people watch you and think, whether it's their child that's, been diagnosed or them themselves, it's definitely brought an awareness that it's more in the public eye a little bit now.
Absolutely, yeah. And even though, when you got a certain amount of people on Instagram, but like people are taking note of it. And I've had so many messages from people saying, like, Autism Awareness Ireland actually contacted me, and there's so many different charities contacted me. And they were like, it's amazing that you do what you do, and you're definitely spreading the awareness. And I was like, oh, well, at least I'm doing something good. You don't think you are, but you kind of go, okay, maybe I am. But, I like the fact that I am actually spreading a little bit of awareness of it, because people always thought, when I was younger, like when I said to a few people, when I said that I was going to do the childcare course, they went, you won't be able for that. And it was actually an online course as well. So you were literally left to your own devices. It took me 2 years to do it, but it would have taken someone else maybe a year. But I did it in 2 years, and I did it at my own level. So, it's just, I'm glad I'm qualified in it now, and that I can do something I love.
I think certainly with lockdown, isn't it? It's given you a different purpose during lockdown without the gigs.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I badly missed my gigs, and I cannot wait to get back on the road. I was just saying to someone the other day, I'm hoping I'm not going to miss my little, I'm not going to like forget what I'm doing. Because it's been so long since I've done it, like, you know what I mean? So I'm like hoping I'll go on the stage and I go, what's this?
What's this thing? You've been doing the lives online as well, though, haven't you? So they've been going down really well.
How do you find
I have been doing the lives. Yeah, I have been doing the lives, and I absolutely love doing them. The only thing about it, every singer said it to me as well, that you just don't get the same vibe. You miss the audience, you miss the whole atmosphere that's in the room, and just the dancing and the bit of crack you have with the audience as well.
Yeah. You build this energy up, don't you?
Yeah, and yourself, Copper, like it's, you have that energy in the room and the atmosphere, and even like the venues I'm with, it's just, all the staff, and everyone that comes in, and it's just so nice, so like communal, I suppose, and just really down to earth, I suppose. Miss it. We all miss it.
Definitely do, yeah.
But,
strange when you finish a song and you're just like to the camera and there's like no one there to give you any sort of feedback, good or bad.
There's normally me in the comments going just woo.
Someone actually said to me, they were like, you keep disappearing off the camera, is that to top up your lippy? And I'm like, no, it's not actually. It's either fix the camera or do something else. But I said, it's not to top up my lippy. And they were like, but you don't get that when you're singing, you see live. And I'm like, oh no, I'm not that bad. Like,
because as well, your lives are obviously only say half an hour to an hour long, and Copper, if you haven't seen Eimear, live, she's hardcore, like particularly New Year's. Last New Year's, was it, correct me if I'm wrong, was
Christmas
it
one,
6
actually.
hours you performed for? Was it 6 hours
6
you did a
hours?
gig for?
What?
Last New Year's, which was actually 2019. Was it 2019? Now I can't keep up with my time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Banville.
Bramble House in Banbridge, yes. I played there New Year's Eve. I think I started at like 6 o'clock. No, 6 o'clock in the evening, I think I started. And I did my own show in the lounge, and I had about 50 to 60 people in the lounge. And then I was playing with Richie Remo and his band in the dance hall. So I went literally from one room to the other, and I was
Took
doing
everyone in a conga on the way to the room.
Yeah. Yeah, I was telling Jodie this actually. When we were doing that gig, I was told to bring the audience into the room with me. So I literally went, okay, that's grand. So I literally said, okay, everyone stand up, let's go. I was just like, what? So anyway, I got up and I went in trying to put my Cinderella heels on me, and was walking in the room, and I said to Richie, I have another load for you. And we went back in, and I sang my bit of the show, and then I did the countdown. But I was on stage for a good, say, hour and a half or more. And it was actually ended up being a 6-hour gig that whole day, because I was gigging for at least 4 hours in the lounge. And it was just really, it all kind of added up, and you were like,
And like,
after
to
doing
not lose your voice after singing for that long.
Oh, my voice is gone already. But
Yeah,
like,
even just talking.
I'm just talking, even during lockdown, I'm talking, and I can't stop talking.
She really does.
Like FaceTime calls every day, and just so funny.
That's the thing about it. You wouldn't think it, but talking is actually worse for your voice than
Oh.
singing. If you have your singing technique down, you can sing for hours, but then if you're talking for hours, your voice would feel it a lot
But it's
more.
having that good technique. There's some singers out there that wouldn't be able to, me being one of them, wouldn't be able to get three to four songs, and I'm needing a bit of a break there. But
some singers, sometimes they're like, if they're gigging every night, like saying, especially in rock music, where they're singing like falsetto and stuff, they literally they won't talk for the day. If you want to talk to them, they whisper at you, or they just will not talk just to save their voice for that night, kind of thing. So it's it's something to very taken into mind when you're singing for hours and hours and hours.
It's tough work, but you know what? I'm laughing because I said to someone, like, they asked me how I do childcare and then sing at the weekends. I'm like, it is tough because by Sunday you can't even talk. You're literally downstairs going, I'm not talking anymore. I have enough. Because like literally, like, childcare is a tough job as well as music. So
wasn't it a musician that encouraged you to go and get your qualification?
Do you know what? It's funny actually you say that. It was actually Sean Cuddy. We were doing an award show one night, and we were sitting doing the rehearsals, and he turned to me. Now, me and Sean, I've known Sean for years, and he turned to me. We were chatting about loads of stuff, and he turned to me and he went, "What are you actually qualified in?" I'm like, "Nothing at the moment." And then I went, I'm just going to do my music. And he was like, no, go get a different job. So I was like, okay. He says, you need to have something to back you up. And I totally know where he's coming from now.
Yeah.
So I'm so thankful. He said to me, you need to go get the childcare course done. Go and do it. You want to do it. I know you want to do it. And it'll save you so much heartache in the next couple of years. Like, you're going to thank me for it. And I did. I rang him when I got my qualification. I said, I'm done. And he goes, what? And I said, I'm after doing the childcare course. He was like, oh my God. So there you go. I have a qualification in something, and it was a singer who told me to do it. So there you go. Just gives a point.
I think that's good advice to anybody that might be listening in that thinks that, it's quite easy to just do music full time or anything. It's always good to have.
It's not easy at all. Like, definitely not easy at all. Like, it's so, like, it's a hard one. And you know what? It's especially hard for female artists. And I'm sure every singer that you've interviewed so far has said this, but it's just, I noticed maybe 10 years ago, it was so different. And compared to now, the difference is like unreal. It's a lot harder now than it is back when it was.
Yeah.
But back then you would have had dances every night, and you would have been out every night. But like the last, say, 5 years, maybe, it depends on what you're booked for. But a lot of female artists have been coming onto the scene, which is amazing and fantastic stuff. And
do you not think social media now helps it compared to how it was 10 years ago, that you have got that extra platform to put yourself out there?
Absolutely. I mean, social media is amazing, and I live on social media, but everything I do goes on social media. But it's still hard because you still have to make people have asked me, there's certain sides of me which are a little bit fake, and then other sides are very natural. So I could come on Instagram and I'll be all dolled up, and then 5 minutes later I'll be in my onesie going, yeah, I'm done.
I think you just have that appearance to sort of keep up to people, don't you? And we all are guilty of that. You know, we want to show our best selves on it, but without letting people know or see too much of the real us. And I think it's probably a protective thing you do to yourself, isn't it?
Absolutely. Like, I'm not putting 5 layers of makeup on just to come on here. So, you know, it's just...
Our copper was that. That's why we were late.
I had to put 10 layers of foundation on.
But it's true, you do need to have a certain appearance. But even, do you know what? Nowadays, it's different. Back then, you definitely had to have a certain personality and appearance. Like, I remember my dad, bless him, he says to me, okay, we're looking at this. The dad, obviously people might know that dad has been on the road with me, just my roadie for the past 10 years now. And he absolutely loves it from day one. He's been there and he's been coming on the road with me, doing the gigs and doing the roadie work and also taking the bookings as well. But he just loves it. And I said to him, I think a year ago, I said, so when are you thinking of retiring? I don't want to retire. Don't even mention that word. I'm like, right. So I gave him the option about 50 times. He does not want to do it. He's like, I'm not giving up. I love this job. I love meeting the idols and meeting all, you know, he met Larry Cunningham, he met Big Tom, he met Margot, just all his heroes that he grew up listening to, and he got photos with them. And you know,
how's he coping during lockdown now that he's not driving you everywhere?
He's enjoying the time off, but he's also missing it as well. Like, there's some nights he goes, we could be in Banbridge now, or we could be in Armagh now, or, you know, he comes out with, I'm going, I know. But, you know, he is really missing it. The first lockdown was tough, but I think this one is even harder, because we're just kind of going, when are we going to get back to normal now? Because it's just getting a bit draining, you know. And he is dying to get back on the road, I think, more than me. So... So it is funny, you know, he loves it so much, and I am looking forward to getting back on the road. It's going to be very fun to get back on, and it's going to water.
It'll be massive when everyone's back out on the road. Everyone's just going to be so grateful for it. I think the atmosphere is going to be incredible. It's
going to be so crazy. I think, as I said to someone, I had fully booked this year, so I'm wondering, or was it last year? I was fully booked last year and this year. So I mean, it was kind of. It's a bit strange. Like, I'm thinking next year, what way am I going to be? Am I going to be doing like 5 nights a week, or, you know, to catch up of thing?
Catch up with everything, yeah.
Yeah. Like, the venues are going to be going, I have to get you in 2 nights this week. And, you know, I'm just like, where am I going to be? But
I think it's going to be every night, isn't it? It's just going to be dances. Everyone's just going to be like, who knows how long we're going to be let out for.
It's going to be quite funny, but I'm looking forward to it now, I have to say. It'll be quite funny to see what happens. But also interesting too.
Awesome.
Very cool. I'm going to throw some random questions at you now, Eimear, if that's all right.
Go on, scare me.
What was the last gig that you were at that wasn't your own, let's say? Who did you go to see, buy a ticket to go to see before this whole worldwide thing happened?
God. I think I was at Nathan Carter. I think that was 2000. See, I'm lost with all the years now. I'm like,
time is just like gone out the window right now.
Yeah, I'll come into one.
Yeah.
I think that was last January. So that probably was the last gig I went to. But I think I also went to Derek Ryan as well. So they were the last 2 gigs. But other than that, I can't remember where it was. Yeah.
And tell me as well, if you had a dinner party, your ideal dinner guests, dead or alive, say 3 people, who would you invite and why would you invite them?
3 people, is that all I'm allowed?
Well, yeah, you can't say me or Copper, so that's helping you out a bit there.
Okay. Okay, well, I definitely would have Dolly Parton.
Yes, yeah.
Definitely.
Can I just say everybody we've asked this to so far has said Dolly Parton in that list. She's going to be very popular with invitations.
She's an idol of mine. I've had since, I must have been about 8 or 9 when I started listening to her. I was very young. But I've recorded some of her tracks as well, and I've been delighted to actually. I sent her emails actually before you record the songs. You kind of send them emails and just say, look, is it okay to record? Blah blah blah. And I got a letter back from herself saying, would love you to record my music. You have my my permission, etc. So I think I recorded about 8 or 9 tracks, like, but I sent them on. Why not? But anyway, Dolly Parton. I think I'd have Michael Jackson too.
Wow. Okay.
It's a weird combination, but yeah, I think Michael Jackson and George Jones.
George Jones.
Oh.
Yeah, I think so.
On a good day, hopefully.
But yeah, so there's a few there I would like, but you know that I think they'd be my main 3, because they're so different as well. Michael Jackson's definitely different to the rest, but you know,
that's a good table. And tell me, this is a random question. I just like throwing random questions. So
go on, do it.
I'm laughing because I know what's coming.
Is that what's coming? Have you had any ghost stories?
Any what?
Ghost stories.
Ghost story? Yeah, I have actually.
You do. Good,
here we go. We've got one.
And it's one, I was doing a gig and I heard the hotel that I was in was haunted, and I was like, what? But anyway, it was actually in Roscommon. So it was actually, funny enough, it was a Halloween night as well. So I heard it was haunted, and I looked up this hotel and everything, and it was haunted. So I was like, why am I booked for this hotel? Where are we going? So I arrived at the hotel, and they told me that the changing rooms was actually down the road from the hotel. So they had this like facility for the singers to change in and the bands to change in, and like you had to walk back up the road. It was like, say, a 3-minute walk.
So the glamour of the backstage that people don't realise.
Yeah. So I was with the Indians that night as well, and I turned to the Indians and I went, where are we going? And they were like, we just have to walk down the road and then just turn left. And I went, I don't know where I'm going. I have no idea. So they said, oh, just walk down. We'll be down in a minute. I was like, right, okay. So I took my own chance and I walked down the road. And it was Halloween night. So there's fireworks going off. There was like dogs howling, which didn't add to the sound effects. And some weird bird making a really weird noise. And I was walking down the road and I had my phone on me. So I was holding my phone. I was like, just in case something happens to me. So I was walking down the road. I think I actually vlogged it as well. And then I turned into the house, but I couldn't get into the door, like.
Yeah.
And I rang the owner of the venue and I said, I can't get in. He said, I'll be down in a minute. There's me standing there for at least 10 minutes and the pitch dark going, where am I going?
Oh, bless you.
So then the other one I have was I was gigging in Monaghan. No, I wasn't gigging in Monaghan. I was doing a thing by the choir that I was in.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to Monaghan on this like trip and that for the weekend. There was this house full on haunted, right? And they told us that if we walk around the house 3 times, we wouldn't be cursed, I think it was. And I didn't do it.
God.
I didn't do it. So then we went back to the house. The haunted house was literally here and the place we were staying was here. So I went back into the house that we were staying in. And that night I was walking in the corridor and I swear the door is slammed. I don't know. There was no one else around me. And I was like, what is going on here? So I made a run for it down the stairs. And I started shouting at the other girls I was with. And I was like, what's going on? But it was, I was scared as I don't know what, but it was just so scary.
See, that'd be me. I'd run away, and we've already had this conversation on another podcast. Copper would run towards the noise. He'd want to go.
I'd be running.
No, I'd be with you, girl. I'd be gone.
I try to see something. Like, oh, come here, I want to actually see something, for Christ's sake. So yeah, absolutely. I'd go investigate.
No, you see, I couldn't do that. I'd just be terrified. I'd be like, no, get me out of here. The only other one I have is I was working as a receptionist, funny enough. I was working as a receptionist in town, and there's this building in town that it has like a theatre. But it was an old burial ground, right? So I had to look up the history of this place. I was like, people were telling me stories, and I was like, no, whatever. And then I looked it up, and it ended up it was true. And I was like, I don't feel safe here at nighttime. But anyway, I ended up saying to it was one night I was there, and I was only there with one other person.
Mm-hmm.
And that other person was up at the very top floor, and I was down at the bottom floor by myself. And I had to go up and do a few jobs on another level. So I went up the steps and was walking in the corridor, and the door slammed, right? And all the lights went off, and I was like, where are we going? So I was nearly crying, right? And the security cameras were on. So the owner of the building rang me And I had my phone. I mean, I was like, I'm in the middle of the corridor. I don't know where I am. And he was like, just keep walking left. But I was like, why did the door slam? Like, the other way they have the jar, what's it called? Like a lock?
Yeah.
They weren't on. So it literally slammed shut. Like, and I was like, I can't even get the door open now because it was so tough to get open. But I'm literally not kidding you. The other doors at the top of the corridor slammed as well. And I was like, here. So I start running the other way.
Again,
and I went
running.
next door. I was like, see you later. Anyway, go on, give me another one, sure.
Oh, another one. What would you do if you won the lotto?
Oh, that's easy.
Oh, here we go.
I would move to Nashville. I think
Nice.
I'd move to Nashville. I would make a new life over there. And
You'd leave us, is what she's saying. She's off. She's gone.
No, I'd bring you guys with me.
Oh, there we go. There we are.
You guys can come with me, so it'll be fine. So don't be worrying.
So Eimear, so obviously you give everyone a good insight into your life and different things to do with that. But obviously I like the juicy gossip on here. So is there anything in your personal life that we've got any announcements coming up, or have we got anything in the background going on that we can talk about?
You know what? There's a couple of projects in the pipeline that are definitely going to be launched soon and that people will know about more of. Because I've had a lot of messages of people saying, I know you're doing projects, but I want to know what projects. And, you know, I haven't been able to announce anything for the last 6 months. So it's been tough for me because I'm a chatterbox. But none of my friends even know. I think about maybe one person knows, but that's it. I literally have to keep my mouth shut the whole time about it. But there is a couple of things coming up that I definitely think that your followers should be keeping their eyes peeled for. So check out my Instagram and Snapchat and all that, and it will be announced pretty soon. So you need to watch out for the watch space.
On that, how hard do you find it? Obviously, you know, I'm joking, and you can always just tell me to get lost with things. But how hard do you find it being quite in the public eye and putting all of your life on social media to then have that private life? How does that kind of work? Or do you feel like people expect to know your private life all the time?
Yes, in a certain aspect, a lot of my career would be public, or a lot of my life would be public. But it doesn't really bother me too much. Like, I do have my private stuff that goes on at home, and that's not shared on social media. But my own self, my own life that goes on, I do share a lot of it. I think it's okay to share, and maybe some things I go, oh, don't want to share that, or you know, like we have the banter through Instagram, and I have the banter through there's local companies in the town that, you know, I would go and pop into and get my coffees or whatever.
You always have a morning coffee on there,
Oh, of course. But, you know, it's just, you go in and you have a bit of banter with the lads, and I said to them, look, I have no bother sharing whatever you do in here, and I'll put up my Instagram, whatever. But, you know, it's just little things like that. And especially during this whole coronavirus, COVID-19, and people do need a little bit of help. But to answer your question, it doesn't bother me too much. I know every other singer, they do have a personal and a public life, and the public life would be the music, and that's all. But I think I share a bit more than what they would share on social media. But, you know, I think it doesn't really bother me too much, to be honest.
It does help people get to know you as a person, not just as Eimear on the stage, I guess, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And I think, you know, it really bugs me when I started off singing, people just see me in a dress, all dolled up, ready to go to sing. They don't see me at home stressing out, trying to get the gear in the car. And
I've seen you very different than glammed up in a nice dress.
Like me at home, getting my playlist ready, or me at home working on emails like constant and doing FaceTime calls and, you know, all this stuff. Like, nobody sees that end of things. That's why I started the Instagram blogging, because I thought that would give more of an insight to people. Like, I was sitting on the sofa last night, and I literally went, I'm going to share this for the crack, sure, why not? You know, and I put up little things that are funny, and the people are like, what is she doing? Why is she sharing this? But it's funny and it's different, and it's just, the other end of things is that you would see my good and my bad days, and that's more to go with along with the Asperger's, so people know you do have your good and your bad days with it. And I could wake up tomorrow and I'll be grumpy as hell and you don't want to talk to me, and Jodie knows this.
But I was going to say, it must be so nice for you, and it's nice for me to see it when people do it. You know, as a friend of yours, it's nice when people are saying, "Oh, Eimear hasn't posted today. Is Eimear okay?" And you'll get messages, and people will post on your wall, check in, you know, if everything's okay, and that must feel really nice as well.
It was actually, it's very, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think. I'm really bad at words. It was very kind of
like humbling.
Humbling. Yeah. The people actually thought about me, you know, even though I wasn't blogging Monday till Friday this week, was it? 5 days. And everyone went, "What's going on?" And it was really funny because I'd say about 25 messages from people going, "What's going on? How come you haven't blogging? Blah, blah, blah." And I'm going, just having one of them weeks, everything's going sideways. So I just thought, there's nothing to blog. So, you know, I just took a few days off, but that's kind of just why I did it. But it has been questioned. I have been questioned all week. And it just proves that people do actually watch my vlogs and think about something
and I think
about
it. Shows to them as well that you are only human and we're all the same. And we do have those off days where we need to just switch off from everything. And, you know, it's scary sometimes to think, I'm just going to turn off my phone today. But sometimes you do just need it.
You do. But I couldn't turn my phone off. But I will be on silent. I just couldn't turn it off because I know someone will be texting me. But no, I think I turned my phone off probably once since I got it. But, you know, it's just I couldn't do that. But if I was getting those emails, I would ignore them. Like tomorrow I normally get emails. The people who are emailing me are probably going, "That's what she does." No, I forget emails. I do out my secrets now. If I get emails, they're like really long ones. I'll be like, get to them on Monday. You know, it's just little things like that. But normally I get straight to them and just get them done, you know?
Yeah. So just quickly before we wrap up, what is your kind of, obviously you've spoke about what a hard worker you are, and we can all see, you know, it's been evidential throughout your music and what you do. What's your main sort of goal? When do you think you'll get to a point when you go, yeah, I'm happy now, or will that ever come, do you think?
Oh, well, there's like in my music, I have goals, and I've already reached some of my goals that I never thought I'd reach, like bringing out albums or bringing out new singles or anything. And it's funny, like you say that, because when we were during the second lockdown, I was trying to get music done and was really badly wanting to get in the studio. So I brought out I Wish I Could Fall in Love Today, and I had Christmas one out, and you know, I tried as much as I could to get stuff done, even though we're in lockdown and it's very hard to meet up with people, whatever, but I just had to do something. So I was sitting on the computer, I was emailing the constant, trying to get stuff done. But for goals, I definitely want to bring out another album, and that is on the pipeline. That's one pipeline thing you've heard. Well, I have a lot.
When's the album coming out though? We need more specifics.
That's a hard question.
Well, that'll be announced soon enough actually as well, because I've actually been working on some new tracks, and not all of them are recorded, but I know exactly what I'm doing. But I'm going to go to the studio and be like, this is what I want. But you know, and Cooper knows this as well. Like, or you know, you just go in and you get it done, and there's definitely a lot of goals there that I want to achieve. Like everyone says to me, do you want to bring out a 5-piece band? And you're kind of thinking, that's not my top goal right now. I just want to work on my music and work hard at it. My personal life, well, everyone wants to lose weight and look better, but you know what? We just have to try as much as we can. And you know, I've gotten to where I was so different a year ago. So I mean, I'm happy where I am right now with that, but there's still a lot of things I want to change. But you know,
it's just being healthy, isn't it? It's
so
just a healthy journey that you're on.
Being healthy, being mindful, and just being positive. It's my main word. Positivity is the main word. I put it up my story maybe once or twice a day. I'm going, that's what I want to do. Because like there's nothing, like I think everyone has taken this lockdown a lot harder than the last one and the other one before that. But you know, it is a lot tougher this time. I don't know why, but people are getting drained from it now, and they're just going, we need to get back to normal now. And I totally know where they're coming from. It's so strange, you know. But I think the first lockdown I was great. I was going out for my walks every day. I was doing an hour walk, and I used to do my home workouts and everything. But now I'm just like, I'm working. I don't have time to do all this.
It's the time of year though, as well, isn't it? It's like I'm looking at the window now, and it's gone pitch black whilst we've been recording. Whereas,
yeah. You wouldn't go out for a walk.
No,
come on.
I probably wouldn't go out if it was sunny. To be fair, let's be honest. But have you got any questions there, Copper?
I do. One last question for you. We do this thing now, a segment called Desert Island Discs. So if you were marooned on a desert island and you only had 3 CDs that washed up with you, which CDs would you hope that they would be so that you could listen to it all the time?
Oh God. If I name any of them, they'll kill me. If I name one of them, they'll kill me. I don't know. I probably would. I definitely have. That's a good one. I have to say, I like the Venga Boys.
Okay.
I'm a bit of a 90s. So I think I'd bring Venga Boys with me, because if I'm on a desert island, that's kind of music you listen to. So I will.
I mean, you can't help but smile, can you?
I'll put a pep in your step.
What is it? You know. I like Gretchen Wilson as well. I'd bring maybe one of her albums. And I'd also have to bring, of course, I'd have to bring a Daniel O'Donnell or a Nathan Carter. This one of them has to go with me.
One, you
choose one.
Okay, I'll do Daniel O'Donnell then.
I feel like she was keeping me happy there a little bit.
yeah. Daniel, like to hear that now. Fair play.
I mean, that's quite a selection there, isn't there, on the island for anybody flying past?
So look. Yeah, thanks. Look, we're going to wrap this up now. Thanks very much for talking to us, Eimear. I hope you had a good time.
Thank you.
And I hope our listeners.
I really enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed it. And I want to thank yourself and Jodie as well for having me. I really enjoyed it. And hope people do it again.
Yeah.
And we're making new friendsip through this lockdown.
Exactly. It's all about creating this new community, isn't it?
New community, new life. It's just going to have to... we'll continue with it for another while. And hopefully things get better and it calms down again, and we'll get back to some kind of normal life. But what can we do?
And do you want to tell your listeners now, where can they find you on social media? What are your handles and your names and things, usernames?
Well, have you got another hour? Because I haven't got a bit. Anyway, you can get me on Snapchat. It's Eimear Furlong Music. You can also get me on Instagram, obviously Eimear Furlong Entertainment. Facebook, Eimear Furlong Music again, and I have a personal page too. You can add me on that one. It's just Eimear Furlong. And that Twitter as well. I recently joined Twitter and TikTok, but I don't really use them very often. Now I did TikTok a few times, and I went, "What am I doing here?" But
it's strange
I was a bit like,
it's strangely addictive though. I know on the first lockdown, I was one of those people that was like, who are these idiots doing TikTok? Like one of my friends, she was really into it, and I was like, "Oh, it's ridiculous." And then I started doing it, and then I was like, "I really want to be TikTok famous."
I'm really bad at it. Honestly, Jodie, you never added me on TikTok.
I'm sorry. I'll add you now.
Letting the team down, Jodie.
I know. By the time this is aired, you can check. I'll be following you on TikTok.
I'll be following you there too.
I get more followers. Love it. But you can get me on all the time. So, all your followers, follow away, click away, whatever, and I will get back to you as soon as, and look forward to meeting new people through social media as well. So
brilliant.
But once again, thank you so much to you guys for having me on here.
It was
lovely. Really enjoyed it.
Great.
And best of luck with your new podcast.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Thanks, Eimear.
So there was our interview with Eimear. Did you enjoy that, Jo?
Oh, I did. She's just got such a nice way about her, hasn't she? She's such a lovely character. And really, really nice. Deserves all the success that she's continuing to have. She works very, very hard. As we said before, she's been in it a long, long time. And she certainly deserves all the support and everything from everyone. Yeah.
She's very devoted to the craft, as you could say. A fair play to her. But I suppose we'll go on to our weekly segment now of our Track of the Week, I suppose. Did we call it? I can't remember what we called it.
I think it was Track of the Week.
That's it.
Changes every week, doesn't
it? That's it. Yeah, we go with the flow, We're only Folkin Around here. But tell us, what did you suggest that we listen to this week?
So I suggested for you a song a few years old now, more of a folky song by a band called Passenger, and the song was called Holes. What did you think?
That was a a nice tidy little song. It was grand.
Yeah.
It's probably not something I would technically go for myself, but I enjoyed it. I listened to it a few times. Your man, is it a band or is it like a solo guy, or what's the story with it?
So there is a band involved in them, but I think that Passenger is the main guy, and I think he's now sort of out on his own and does a lot of busking and things like that. So he's there.
Yeah, it's a nice song. Like, it kind of builds up nicely, and there's like a whole sing-along section at the end, and he's kind of a, I suppose, a unique voice. It's kind of, it's hard to pinpoint what it sounds like, I guess, but it's unique. If you heard it, you definitely know it's him. And and
the song itself's got a lovely message to it, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Which was, I can't remember.
Well, no, it was kind of like,
I put you on the spot.
No, there's like a line in it that says that when you've got nothing to lose, and it's like, and it really is that you can lose everything in life, and everyone has these holes in their life, and we just carry on, and everything happens for a reason, and what is for you won't pass you. So I think it's a nice story.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a feel-good song, I guess. And I suppose I was on the same vibe, same feel-good vibe, I suppose, because I recommended Ryan Lindsay, Better Now. He's a Canadian guy. What did you think of him?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, actually. It's that sort of very laid back, relaxed. Really enjoyed his voice. It was very easy to listen to. It was kind of just that nice, it still had that nice sort of country feel to it. And I enjoyed it. I'd listened to more of him, actually. I hadn't listened to him before, but I probably will hunt out a few more.
Because I only discovered him there like a few days before I suggested it. So he's this Canadian guy. It's actually, I was just looking into like the Canadian country scene. It's actually fairly big. There's a lot going on there.
Maybe we need to go to Canada and get some new guests.
I had a song or two played in Newfoundland a few times, so that's class. I was already played over there, which is nice. So go over there and do a gig or two. Hopefully one day. You never know. But so the Canadian scene is like, of course, like a big favourite of mine is Coulter Wall. He's from Saskatchewan in Canada, so he's part of that Canadian scene as well. So yeah, might look into that a bit further, and you never know, we might reach out, message, or say hello to Ryan and see if he'll come on. You never know.
Why not?
Give him a shout.
We tend to sweet talk people, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Joe, what do you suggest that we listen to this week?
So my one this week, I've been thinking I've been going a bit too American for a while. I think I need to rein it back and request something really good from an Irish singer. Okay. So my suggestion this week is the wonderful Jerry Guthrie, who I'm sure lots of our listeners will know very, very well. Good friend of mine as well. He does listen to the podcast.
Fair play. How are you, Jerry?
And the song I would recommend to you isn't actually one of his biggest songs. It's an album track, but I think it should have been a single. It's amazing, and it's called Come Home to You.
Oh, good. I haven't heard it before, so I give it a listen. So yeah. Sometimes
everyone listens to it. It's brilliant.
Sometimes I nearly prefer album tracks. I never know. It depends on the band and that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll give that a go.
What about me? What will I be listening to, Copper?
Now, I am going American again. I'll try to pick an Irish person next week. Okay, I'll see, because I'd probably pick a song that everyone knows and loves dearly, and I was like, I only heard the song the other day. So you know what I mean. So we'll see.
But that's the fun, isn't it? Just because we've heard things doesn't mean that everyone else has, and vice versa.
Yeah. So I'm going to pick the Dead South, which you probably have heard. I think they've played Ireland a few times.
Okay.
So it's the Dead South, and it's In Hell I'll Be Good
Are
Company.
you saying South?
South. Yeah, we don't really pronounce our THs.
You're like sour. I was like, okay.
South. The dead. Okay, I'll say it properly. The Dead South. I can't pronounce it properly. It's just this New Ross accent, this Wexford accent. So the song is In Hell I'll Be in Good Company. And it's a class old song. I'm going to do I'm going to start adding it to my own live stream as well. I just started jamming it the other night. I was like, I love playing this song. So hopefully you enjoy it too. And I might do an old version of it on my old live stream soon anyway. But yeah, so what did you suggest again? Jerry Guthrie, and what was the song?
Jerry Guthrie, Come Home to You.
Come Home to You. And mine was The Dead South, and In Hell I'll Be in Good Company. So listeners, have a listen to them and let us know. Of course, let us know what you think about them. And how would the people the lovely listeners tell us what they would think of these songs.
Oh, how would they contact us?
Yes, see, I was kind of lining you up there. I was changing it up on you. But yeah, how would the lovely people contact us, Jo?
So you can contact us via email, which is folkinaroundpodcast@gmail.com. You can also catch all of our socials. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and we are at Folkin Around Podcast, and we are on Twitter, Folkin Around Pod. Where can the lovely listeners contact you, Copper?
You can contact me on Instagram and Facebook. I'm on Copper Kelly Music. TikTok, Copper Kelly as well. What else do I have? You have Twitter and picking this, that, and the other. I'm on Spotify, I'm on iTunes, my music and all this kind of stuff.
Most wanted, everything.
Yeah, exactly. And it's hard life being an outlaw and all, you know what I mean? But where can they find you? Where can they contact you yourself?
So a few places you can find me. So I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Welcome to Jodie Land. I'm also on Twitter at Welcome to Jodie. That one always confuses me and I don't use that often. And I also have a second Instagram if you want to go and follow. There's not much on there at the moment, but it's at the Jodie Lucas Show, and something very exciting will be coming up on that very soon.
Okay. Sounds like you don't want to share too many details on that just yet. So we'll
not yet.
We'll leave it to the
Maybe I'll get my own episode.
Oh, yeah. Here's hoping, huh? There's this new thing we're starting to do, right? If you want to help support the show, help us maybe pay some of the hosting costs and all this kind of stuff to keep this podcast going. If you want to help support us, you can go onto this website called buymeacoffee.com/folkinaround, where you can give us a couple of euro, or we have this membership where I think it's just $5 a month. You can get early access to episodes. We're going to start doing some bonus episodes where you might get a few behind the scenes videos, just kind of exclusive posts and things like that. We're going to start building it up and offering you as much value for money as possible.
You might even get a video call from myself and Copper. We'll throw that in as well.
That could be a possibility, absolutely. Oh, and a big thing, we'll give you a shout out. Definitely a big shout out, and we'll tell a story about you or something. We'll have the crack anyway. But for now, I think that's it. Do you want to add any more information to the listeners' ears, Jodie?
As always, I want to thank you all for tuning in. And I just want to say at the very end, I'm very sorry for my background. I'm in a different location today, different mic, obviously, if I'm sounding a bit funny. But yeah.
You sound a bit
funny. Sorry about
it.
I'm in an attic at the moment.
Yeah. Funnily enough, I'm in an attic too. But
different way round. I clearly need to change the setup a bit. But yeah, this will be gone soon.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that rounds up this episode this week, Jo. And that's all for now. And bye, folkers.
Bye.